exceeding expectations and building loyalty. Today is sponsored by Monterey County Works, who you will be hearing from in just a moment. My name is Anna. I'm the digital media and event strategist here at the California Employers Association, and we just want to really thank you all for joining us live this morning. So before we get into today's training, I have just a couple details to go over with you if this is your first time joining us. So as you can see, your audio is muted for today's presentation, but as you're already doing so in the chat, there's lots of opportunities to engage during today's session. One of the ways you might want to engage is by asking questions. So if you want, you can enter those into the Q&A or into the chat box at any time. I'll be here supporting Eli the whole time, so if there's a question that pops up, we'll figure out a way to get that answered for you either at that moment or towards the end. Handouts for this training, those were sent out in yesterday's reminder email. I know I did have a couple of last minute registrations and I'm so happy you were able to join us, but I will be dropping that PDF into the chat box in just a moment. So once you see the icon and the file name pop up, you can just click on it. It should download locally to your drive. I know it operates a little bit differently on mobile and tablet. So if you are joining us from that device, just go ahead and ping me if you have any questions and I will make sure I get that to you via email or another way. We'll make sure you get it to you. As you saw when you logged on, this webinar is being recorded and our team over at Monterey County will be reaching out once that recording is available for playback. And last but not least, we will be inviting you to share your feedback at the end of today. So you'll see a slide at the end of today's training for a brief survey. You can either click on the link that I'll drop into the chat, or you can scan the QR code with your phone. You can choose your own adventure. But we really encourage you to share your feedback because this is how we in turn serve you. We want to make sure that we are meeting and hopefully exceeding your expectations with trainings like this. We share the feedback with our team over at Monterey, and we just collectively make sure that we are serving you in the best way possible. So if you could take a minute at the end, we would greatly appreciate it. So again, our training today is brought to you by Monterey County Works. Today, we are so privileged to have Laura Kirshner, who is the Business Services Specialist, to share more about those resources available to employers like you. Laura?
Thank you so much for having us on today. We so appreciate it. Want to thank our friends over at CEA and all of our folks for joining us today. It means a lot to us. We've got so many different things that are available to our local employers. We want to really encourage you to take advantage of our services, everything from recruitments and job fairs, our incentivized training opportunities here at Monterey County Works, and just a plethora of different things that we have available to you. Invite you to visit our website, MontereyCountyWorks.com. We've got an upcoming job fair next week, in fact. If you're a local employer and looking for assistance, we want to encourage you to log on to our website, MontereyCountyWorks.com. March 12th. Next Wednesday is our job fair. Sign up on our website. It's as easy as just registering on the website. I am notified right away once employers sign up. If you're looking for individuals, we are averaging over 100 job seekers per event. That's a lot. Again, it's MontereyCountyWorks.com. Thank you again to CEA for this webinar on customer service. We know it's going to be a good one. Pay attention. We've got some good tips for you. Thank you so much.
I was muted. I know how to operate Zoom. Pardon me there. Thank you, Laura, for your dedication to our Monterey County employers and for sponsoring this series of webinars. So now I want to introduce our trainer. We have Eli Nunez. So if you've called into that hotline, you may have worked with him before, but he is going to be leading us today. So I'll kick it over to you, Eli.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you, Laura, and thank you to Monterey County Works. Always a pleasure to meet with you guys and present. Want to remind you of some upcoming webinars here we have. Next one is May 7th for Hire Right the First Time. June 11th is a mid-year labor law update. Always very good because, as you know, things change pretty fast here in California and even nationwide lately. So that's a good way to stay up to date with any changes that have happened and upcoming changes. There's also in July, we have creating a culture of professionalism, civility, and respect. And on September, we have what employers need today. So that's a couple of good ones to go with those very successful job fairs that you have going on there at Monterey. Good information to have. I'd like to remind everybody, of course, of the HR hotline we have. We've teamed up with Monterey County Works to bring this to you. It's free for any Monterey County employers. You can give us a call with any questions relating to HR issues. So Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, except for major holidays, of course. You can give us a call if you have any questions about, any wage and hour issues, leave of absence, which can be very complicated, as you know, or even if you just have like a employer relations type of issue that you just want to talk out with somebody, you want to, basically bend our ear about it and let us know, get some opinions on it, you can give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Again, Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. And of course, if you have any questions on those great programs that Monterey County Works offers, you can contact Laura. There's her email and the phone number. This will also be as available as part of the downloaded presentation packet that Anna put in the chat. So, feel free to reach out to Monterey County Works with any questions about those great programs that they offer. So with that, we'd like to, before we jump into the presentation, we always like to say that even though, sometimes we discuss laws or new Senate bills or that sort of thing, we are not legal advisors. We're not lawyers. And even though we do have people on our team with legal experience, none of the presentations or anything that we offer should be taken as legal advice. We, you know, kind of take an educational approach to it, give you the information, give you, some thoughts, things that are going on, but we do not give legal advice. Please keep that in mind. If you have any questions of a legal nature, we always recommend that you contact legal counsel so they can help you best with that. And if you need any help with that, we do have some great partners on our webpage that you can reach out to with any questions of a legal nature. A little bit more about us too. We are California Employers Association. You may have heard of us or heard from us in other presentations. Our goal really is to provide you, our members, anybody that we interact with peace of mind. We do this by providing trainings and webinars, such as the one you're attending today, and given the best information we can, whether it's over the phone, over email, or on our website. Basically try to be quick and responsive as possible, get back to you as soon as possible, usually within 1 to 2 hours, but usually it's not even that. We're back to you within minutes if you don't get patched over to a live person when you call. Again, we also have training for supervisors, managers, and employees, and we consult on any kind of workplace issues or negotiations. We have a partner that really deals with any kind of labor issues if you have organized labor at your workplace. So we can help with that as well. Again, you can give us a call at that hotline, and we're glad to help. So with that, let's jump right into the presentation today and some of the topics that we will be covering. First thing we're going to talk about is, what do customers want? What are customers or clients looking for? And from that, we can explore why they leave or why they never come back to us. Did we do something wrong? Did we not meet their needs? Or what can we do to address that? I'm going to talk about 5 tips or 5 ways to improve customer service and the best ways to respond to customers as well. So before we start, we have a little poll, a little something to think about, and this is from your perspective, things that are true about customers today. If you think all of these are true or some of them are true, it's something to think about. You can feel free to, throw your thoughts on the chat in the chat box if you want to. Some of the things that you think are true, are customers today less tolerant than they have been in the past? Or are they more demanding? Do they expect more from us than they have in the past? And this kind of goes hand in hand with the next ones. Do they have higher expectations? How has new technology affected how customers relate to us, right? Or what they expect from us? Obviously, with the way things change, the way information or goods or services are delivered, these are all affected by different technologies and different things. So, again, how is that different nowadays? Um, do we feel more pressure from our customers, or they live in a more pressured lifestyle with the way things are today? Again, we know things change very quickly. There's always change going on. So, you know, is there more pressure on our customers and therefore more pressure on us? Are they looking for more of a value, more for less, right? And finally, keep in mind, I mean, customers are essential to our organization's success, right? Whether we're providing goods or services, we need someone to provide those too. We need someone to walk through those doors or give us a call or send a letter or an email or whatever it is, a fax if you're still doing that, asking for our help, our advice, or, whatever we have to offer, right? So again, whatever business you are, whether you're a restaurant, bank, service industry, whatever it is, providing an organization that provides other services, it's always important that, you know, we recognize and address what our customers or clients are looking for so we can better, better fit their needs. And it all goes down to, what's the big question? What's the big secret to being successful in our industries, whatever different industries are? And it all comes down to answering one very simple question. What do customers want? What are they looking for? It could be one thing, it could be many things, it could be different things for different customers, right? Obviously, not everybody that walks into our offices or into our place of business is looking for the exact same thing every time. Things change, needs change, that sort of thing. So we need to be sure that we are addressing it. So to simplify this answers to this question, we've narrowed it down to 5 different things that we recognize that customers may be looking for. Okay. The first one, of course, personalized services or personalized service. When a customer walks in, you know, they they want to know, they want to be treated as a person. They want to be respected as a person, right? And we hear a lot the old saying, that, don't treat people like they're just a number, or, people hate being treated like they're just a number. So this is the same thing with our customers, and I'll use the term customer or client interchangeably throughout the presentation. Really, we want to make sure that we're treating them in a personalized manner, right? Addressing them, by their name if possible, or getting to know them as much as we can, right? A lot of times that could be a big differentiator. I mean, if we're in an industry that we have a lot of competitors that could provide the same service or the same goods or anything, it could be that personalized services, the service, that personal touch that really differentiates us from our competitors. Okay. Next thing they're looking for is competence, right? A lot of customers have identified competency as one of the things that plays a big role in having a good customer experience. I think we've seen, I've seen this ad pop up on TV where I think it's for a flooring company or a flooring store where there's a couple customers that go into a big box store, one of these big, you know, big hardware stores, and they're trying to get some information or some help from a representative there, and he's just giving them this blank look because he doesn't know, where to start or what they're talking about, or it's not his department or whatever it is. So again, you can just see a level of frustration building up in those customers. The same thing with our customers or our clients. They want to walk in and they want to know that they're dealing with someone that is knowledgeable in what we're offering, or can at least direct them to the right person to be able to help them, right? Next thing customers are looking for, of course, is convenience. Time is money. Time is something we never get back. So when they come in, they want to be sure that, they can take care of their business in as little time as possible and move on with their lives, right? So we want to make that convenient for our customers. And sometimes that means them not coming in at all. Sometimes that means that we're answering them or responding to them by phone or by email or sometimes text or chat or other things, right? So we want to make things as convenient for our customers as possible, because a lot of times that's what they're looking for. A lot of times customers, they don't want to leave their office or their house to take care of what they need. They want to be able to do it electronically or with a quick phone call or something. So again, that convenience is something very important to customers. Next thing we have is, customers want companies that are proactive, not just in addressing their needs, but also in reaching out to them. So again, if, say, for instance, a customer walks in looking for a specific thing from us and we don't have it on hand, it's back ordered, or it's not there, right? They want to deal with somebody that's going to be proactive in either getting what they need for them, or if they're in the process of doing that, someone that's proactively reaching out to them, keeping them informed, letting them know where we are, instead of just kind of putting them in the back burner, or showing them away or not dealing with them, right? They want someone that's an organization that's a go-getter, that wants to fight for them, to keep them on as a client, but also that's going to be very proactive in keeping them informed of where we are in the process. And finally, of course, speed. That goes with all the other ones, right? A lot of times, again, time is money. A lot of times our clients want to walk in, take care of business, and then move on to the next thing, right? Other times they want to walk in and chat and, take their time. But a lot of times, if they can take care of what they need right away, it frees up their time to do other things. So again, personalized service, competence, convenience, proactivity, and speed is what we identified as the top 5 things that customers are looking for when dealing with an organization. Okay. Now what we have here is a great stat from Bain and Company that did a survey, and what they found was that 80% of leaders believe that they're delivering superior customer service. But when they flip that around and they ask the customers, only 8% of customers would agree that they're receiving superior customer service. So again, there's a bit of a disconnect there, right? Nothing bad. I mean, a lot of times, maybe as leaders, we take things going along smoothly, or things not having any kind of negative interaction with success. And that's not always the case, right? A lot of times it's just, customers just feel that, yeah, they're checking the boxes, they're filling our need, but it's not really superior. It's not really going above and beyond what we expected. In some cases, that's okay, but a lot of times, that is what could differentiate us from our competition. If the customers feel that we're going above and beyond, that we're offering them more than they came and that they came looking for from us, that is going to be what keeps them coming back to us. What retains them, right? That superior customer service, and it's elusive. A lot of times, it's hard to know because customers can be looking for different things. But again, that difference, that disconnect is something to keep in mind. And some leaders recognize that, right? There's 20% of leaders per the survey that understand that they're not delivering superior customer service. And it could be because, either they recognize that maybe their organization has some issues that they need to address, or it could be that, they know that what they're doing is never good enough. They have that hunger to keep improving. And that's kind of the where we want to be, right? We don't want to rest on our laurels and think that just because, things are going along smoothly that we're doing fine and we shouldn't keep growing and expanding and changing, because I guarantee you our competitors are always, looking for different ways to differentiate themselves. And again, that customer service, that superior customer service is always, a great way, a great differentiator, a great way to set ourselves apart from our competitors. Now we talked about what customers are looking for. Let's talk a little bit about why customers leave. And a lot of these are going to be pretty obvious, right? The first one is poor service. If a customer comes in, and no matter what kind of organization we are, if we're a restaurant, if we're retail, if we're, an accounting firm or what have you, right? If we provide poor service, you can, guarantee that that's going to lose us a customer. A lot of times we won't even know about it. There's one of the things that I'll give you a personal example, drives my wife crazy whenever we go to a restaurant, and if the service is not good, or, if we go somewhere and we feel the service is not good, her approach is always, well, we should tell the manager, we should talk to management so they can fix it, so they can do this and that. My approach is, you know what? If the experience is so bad, they're just not going to get my money anymore. I'm just going to refuse to go there anymore, right? No feedback, no anything, just the service was so poor, I'm going to go somewhere else. And that's one of the big reasons why customers leave an organization, right? If they feel that their needs are not being met, or if they feel that, they're not being treated right, they're going to leave. Next one is lack of personalization. Again, nobody likes to be just a number or looked at as, just another sale or another, dollar bill walking in the door. We want to have personalized service. And that could be, if you have repeat customers, learning their names, asking a few questions here and there, make a little small chit chat just so they feel, hey, this person, I know I'm here, just to get something from them. They're there just to provide a service or a good to me, but having that comfortable personalization, having them feel comfortable going in there, having them know that, this person, hey, they remember me from last time. They remember what business I'm in. This is going to expedite the process. That's very important to them, right? Cost, that's an easy one. If we have a competitor across the street that can, do the same service or provide the same good for half the cost that we are, chances are our clients or customers might go across the street to save some bucks, right? Especially as things get tighter, things are expensive right now. Cost of living may be going up, so cost can be a great differentiator. Next, we have any unmet expectations. So And this could go two ways, right? It could be the expectation that the client had in their mind of what the interaction was going to be like, or worse yet, it could be the expectations that we established. If we promised something and did not deliver, that is going to, be a strike against us. That could be the reason that our customers refuse to do business with us in the future. They choose to move on, right? Because we overpromised and underdelivered. It's always better to go the other way around, right? Underpromise and overdeliver, exceed those expectations. Well, unmet expectations, that's a flip side of it. So we have to be careful with that. Competitor superiority, again, you know, if our competition can provide different service, better customer service, something that we don't have, that could cause us to lose a customer to them. And finally, the last one is if the customer is no longer in the market for something, they no longer need what they came in for originally, whether it's because of a change in their business structure or change in their personal needs, change in finances, whatever it is. If they do not need our service anymore or our goods, they're going to leave us. And I mean, for that, obviously that's hard to address, right? Because if somebody just doesn't need what we have to offer anymore, it's going to be hard to retain them, unless we diversify what we're offering or something. But the other ones, the other five, I think are something that we can do. There's things we can do to address that. So the way we address it is, look for ways to improve our customer service. And there's 5 different things that we've identified that you can do that, 5 ways to create a better customer service experience for them, right? First one, of course, that starts with us. We have to feel positive about our customers, and we'll go in depth into all of these, right? Next one's responding to customer problems or customer complaints. What we do with that feedback, how we respond to it is going to, you know, be a way that helps us provide better customer service in the future. Encouraging that feedback. We don't want to close ourselves off, right? Remember that disconnect we had where 80% of leaders thought they were providing superior customer service, but a very small percentage of the customers agreed? That's maybe the organization or the leaders living in the shell, not encouraging that customer feedback, not being open to it or not responding to it. We want to hear from our customers, what can we do better? Of course, developing repeat business, right? We want to develop those relationships with the customers so they keep coming back. And finally, exceeding their expectations. Whatever those expectations are. Maybe they're just coming in thinking that, hey, I'm just going to go in and, you know, buy a widget and walk out. Well, they go in and they buy that widget, but then, we exceed their expectations by providing excellent service or giving them options. That is going to make them feel good about us and want to come back. Let's go into all of these, one by one, a little bit more in depth. The first one is something that we as an organization can do, and that's feeling positive about our customers, right? Having a positive attitude towards the customers. Again, we're not just seeing them walking in and treating them as our next paycheck or our next commission or whatever. We have to basically take the approach that anybody that walks in or anybody that reaches out to us, we have to treat them as guests, right? Not customers, but guests. Think about when we have a guest that comes to visit us at our home. Hopefully we're not answering the door in our mismatched bunny slippers and our bathrobe, right? If we know they're coming. If we know we're going to have a guest come to us, we're going to maybe spruce the place up a little bit, maybe spruce ourselves up, and, have the place be welcoming to them, you know, have them feel comfortable, have them want to come back again, right? An example we have is, say, for instance, Disney. If anyone's been to Disneyland, they don't treat the people that go there as customers, even though they do make a pretty penny, right? Anyone who's been to Disneyland can attest to that. But the way they approach it is they treat their customers as guests, right? They see anybody that walks through those turnstiles or those gates as their guest. And all the employees there, they're not just, customer service people, they're cast members who perform for their guests. So they're creating a welcoming environment. They're elevating the way they treat anybody that walks through that door to make anybody want to come back again and again and again. And that's what's so important with that. Okay. Next thing we could do, of course, keeping that open mind. Anybody that walks in our door, they're not going to need the same thing as the last person. Or if it's the same person walking in again and again, they're not going to need the same thing every time. So again, keep an open mind, be aware that they could need different things. So Again, we're not just there to, rubber stamp something or to give them the same thing over and over again. We're there, to explore their needs and see how we can address that. And the best way to do that is talk to our clients, build that rapport, get to know them. What's their business? What do they need? Where else are they doing business? What are they getting from our competitors? That sort of thing. Building that rapport can kind of get very valuable information for them that we can use not just during that visit or that interaction, but in the future. Start getting to know their names. Again, how many people are working for them? Are they expanding? Are they contracting? That sort of thing. That can help us better address their needs. Okay. Next thing we have is our attitude towards them. Showing empathy and gratitude towards our customers. They are choosing to come in and do business with us or interact with us. So, we should be grateful for that, right? Unless we're in a very, very specialized niche business, there is a lot of other places they can go, but they're choosing to come to us. So be grateful that they come in the door. Be grateful that they're choosing to, you know, spend their hard-earned money with us, for lack of a better way to put it, and be empathetic to them, right? A lot of times when people come in, it's because they need something or they have an issue. Well, if we're able to put ourselves in their shoes, if we're able to recognize that, hey, they're going through some struggles, how can we help them? That's going to help us provide superior customer service to them. Having that positive attitude. you know, And can be difficult because sometimes people can walk in and they're having a hard time or they're having difficulty with our product or our service and they're not in a good spot. So we have to do what we can to maintain our positive attitude during that interaction. And that one can help them to make sure, help them get to a better place, but also, help them know that, hey, no matter how difficult of a time I'm having, they're there to help and they're there to help me with a great attitude. They're there to help me get to a better place. It goes along with communicating positively, right? We're working with them, we're talking to them, we're trying to get them what they need. And if they're in a tough spot, we're trying to help them solve those issues. So part of feeling positive about our customers too is providing them a good first impression when they walk in that door. Again, that can help with a lot of ways, right? If they're coming in and they're having a rough day, they're just in a terrible spot mentally. If they walk in and they walk into a place with good energy, people are happy to be there. People are happy to see them. People acknowledge them as soon as they walk in. That could kind of help to shift the way that the interaction is going to go. I think we've all, had a situation where we walk into a place of business and we're not even acknowledged, right? We walk in, we walk into the up to the counter, and everybody's just got their heads down, still doing what they're doing, not even acknowledging us. It's not a good feeling. I mean, definitely doesn't make me feel welcome and makes me consider just turning right back around and walking out the door, going down the street to the competitor. So again, let's take a look at your office or your workplace. What's the energy there when you first walk in? Do people look up, with a smile on their face, or they look up with a look like, what is it now? Like we're inconveniencing them, right? Again, and that's something to talk to your team about, to your employees about, what impression are we giving people when they first walk in? Are we answering the phone with a smile? You know, are we open to listening to people, right? Are we making them feel welcome? How do your employees treat each other? Because that energy kind of radiates out to the room, right? If your employees are always at each other's throats or don't like each other or being snippy with each other, when the customer walks in, either they're going to hear that or they're going to feel that tension in the air and make it uncomfortable. So again, you know, that comes to us as leaders. If there's ever any issues in the workplace, we need to handle them as soon as possible to make sure that we maintain that positive energy throughout our workplace. Make sure our employees are happy to be there because again, happy employee puts them in a better place to deal with our clients and give that good first impression, right? Answering with a smile on their face, being positive with the interactions is always important. Again, you know, so take the time to do that, right? If maybe one day a week or one day a month or something, just walk in through the front door a little late and see kind of what kind of energy you sense in the workplace. how are your employees, reacting to somebody walking in or to something walking in, something unexpected. That's going to go a long way in telling you, kind of what the energy in the room is and what impression your clientele is getting. Okay? So question for you to think about, what skills do you think are needed to provide exceptional customer service? What kind of skills do you think our team has that provides exceptional customer service or should have? If you have any thoughts, feel free to throw them into the chat. We're going to talk about a few characteristics or a few skills of high performing service employees as well. And, you could take a look to see if your team has these already or if it's something that you think, hey, that's a good idea. Maybe that's something that we can kind of work on work on improving for our team. So kind of take a minute to think about, what do you think is needed to provide exceptional customer service? And again, this could be something as simple as, always having a smile on your face to kind of knowing what you're doing, whatever it is. Okay. So we have a response on there, having a connection, connecting with the client. That's a great one, right? Being able to connect with them. Excellent answer. A couple different ones. There's a lot of different things to consider when we look at things to provide excellent customer service. So promise you a couple of them that we have, and we've identified a couple through a couple different surveys and different things. So these are some of the ones that we've identified as characteristics of high performance customer service employees. First one, of course, communication skills. And remember, communication is a two-way street, right? It's not just talking and letting people know what we think or what we know. It's also listening to them. Someone that can listen to our clients, get to know what they need so they can address it. Next one we have, of course, problem solving. We don't want just someone walks in asking for something, they hand it to them. That's okay, that's great that we can do that. But usually when our clients walk in, they could have a complex issue or problem that needs solving, or they don't know exactly what they need, so they're coming to us to help them with that. Well, whoever's helping them, that employee hopefully has those problem solving skills to ask the right questions to get to know exactly what that client is looking for. Next is decision making skills, right? We want to have employees that are empowered to make some decisions. Not all of them, of course, but sometimes they need to know when to escalate things higher up. And that's also part of the decision making process, right? When they decide that it's something they can handle or when they decide to bring in help. But again, you want an employee that can be decisive, not just one that kind of waffles or flip-flops back and forth with the client and doesn't really help them get anywhere. The client's in there because they have questions, they need help. And they don't just need someone that's going to, flounder along with them. They want someone that can either help them with it or point them in the right direction. High performance service employees are also patient. And again, that goes back to a lot of times clients walk in and they don't know exactly what they want. Sometimes they want to talk about it at length. So we want, our employees to be able to talk through that with them, be patient, not just look to, get rid of that client, move on to the next one, get rid of that one, move on to the next one. We want to make sure that they know that they can take the time and they're able to take the time to help that client get exactly what they need. Being knowledgeable, of course, very important, whether it's just knowledgeable about the industry as a whole or just knowledgeable about the services or the goods that we offer at the very least. You want someone that knows what we have, what we can offer to that client, and what tools we have available, right? What services we have available. And that's easy to address. Well, could be easy to address, right? Provide training, provide seminars for your employees. Make sure that if there's any changes, make sure that they're fully trained on it so that they know what the new directions are, what the new products are, whatever it is. It's working in any industry is constant learning, right? Because things never stay 100% the same. Either our business changes or the industry as a whole changes. So we have to stay up to date with that. High performing employees need to be adaptable too. Again, things change, needs change. Client could walk in and ask for one thing and then go out, receive a phone call, come back and ask for 50 things. So again, our employees need to be able to adapt to those different needs, right? They need to be analytical. It's not just about getting the information. A lot of times, maybe our clients walk in and they just dump all their information on the counter, right? Just want to throw everything on us. Hey, this is what I need, and I'm doing this and that, and this and that, and this and that. And you want your employee to be able to analyze all that information and pick out the things that we can help them with. We may not always be able to help them with everything, or if we are, maybe the employee themselves cannot always help them with anything, but they can kind of analyze the situation, help them where they can, and point them in the right direction for everything else. And finally, I mentioned empathy before, being able to put themselves in the client's shoes, right? That's a little different than sympathy. If the client is frustrated and angry, you want your employee to be able to understand where that's coming from. You don't want them to get frustrated and angry along with the client, right? Because then you'll have two frustrated and angry people in the counter, and that's not what we're looking for. We just want someone to be able to understand those feelings, where they're coming from, to help them better address those needs. So something to think about when you look at your organization. You don't have to answer this right now, but some things, when you're looking at your organization as a whole, some things that you could analyze to see where you think you could improve on. Again, there's not something to answer now, but just some questions to ask yourself when you're looking at your organization or your team. Is your communication adequate, or is that something that could improve? How good is the team at resolving customer issues or resolving even problems internally when problems arise with the team? Do you do well in those areas, or do you maybe need some tools to help with that? How knowledgeable are they in the service or product that you provide? Again, hopefully, your customer facing team can answer those clients' questions about those things without having to escalate it or always call somebody else or call on the manager or call a senior person, because that can be frustrating to a client or customer, right? They want to, if they're talking to somebody, they want to believe that that person can answer their questions. Okay. How adaptable is the team? Are they empathetic? Can they put themselves in the client's shoes or see where they're coming from? So again, take a look at that list and take a look at your team. It's a great way to analyze them to see if there's any of those areas that we can improve. Okay, moving on to the next one, we talked about responding to customer complaints being very important, and that's something that we want our team, our employees, to be able to handle our customer complaints, right? Because let's face it, our customers don't always walk in with a smile on their face, knowing exactly what they want. Sometimes we have clients or customers that walk in and they're upset, either because we didn't, fulfill their expectations, we didn't meet their needs, or whatever it is. So again, we want our team to be able to handle those complaints. And a few steps when it comes to resolving those complaints from our customers. First one is, of course, if you have a customer that walks in, they're upset, they have an issue either with our service or our products or whatever it is. First thing, we hopefully want our team to do, whoever's helping them, is to apologize for the issue and listen. And that can be very difficult, because if someone walks in, they're upset, they're being confrontational, our first reaction might be to just get confrontational right back to them, right? We're gonna get defensive. We're gonna close up. And that's human nature to do that. Of course, it could be a defense mechanism, but if we truly are here to serve our clients, first thing we need to do and train our team to do is, obviously apologize for their inconvenience, right? Whether it's our fault or their fault, they didn't read the instruction or whatever, say, hey, I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm sorry, things didn't work out the way they were supposed to. I'm sorry you're having difficulties. Let's talk more about the issue. What's going on? What happened? And sometimes just, that apology and being open to hearing their issue or their complaint is enough to help de-escalate that situation a little bit, right? Next thing, once we listen to them, we understand the issue. If we have a solution, or if we have a path to solving their needs, we're going to explain that to the customer. This is how we can address this. Whether it's replacing a faulty product, whether it's, visiting another visit, whether it's an inspection, whatever it is, we're going to explain to them how we're going to handle the situation. Even if we know, we could know exactly what the issue is and know what we're going to do, we want to bring the client or the customer on board with us. These are the steps we're going to take to help alleviate the situation, to help make things right. And if it's not something where they're going to be there every step of the way, we're going to let them know how we're going to keep them informed, right? How we're going to follow up on that. So if we have to order a replacement, you know, widget or doohickey or whatever, we're going to let them know, hey, we're going to get this for you right away so you can continue your work. It's going to come from the East Coast. I'm going to order it right now. So as I get a tracking number, I'm going to send it over to you by, what do you prefer? Email, text, phone call, whatever it is. Okay, I will follow up with you in 2 days to give you an update, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if we, offer that we're going to follow up, calendar that thing. Make sure our team calendars that. Make sure they make it a priority to follow up and to keep the person informed because I mean, it's one thing to walk in when you have an issue with an organization or with someone you're doing business with and you complain about it and they say they're going to do something, but if they say they're going to fix a problem, then they ghost you. I mean, that's going to put that customer through the roof, right? That's going to guarantee that they're never coming back to us again. So again, if we're communicating how we're going to follow up and how we're going to fix that issue, let's follow up with them. Let's do what we said we would. And even if things start going sideways or things aren't working the way that we thought they were, let the customer know. Keep them informed. Always keep them up to date on any of those issues. Talked about empathy, that having our team members be empathetic with our customers. Again, that kind of goes hand in hand with listening to them, getting to know what their needs are, right? Getting to know what the issue was, what went wrong, what's causing this issue going on. Acknowledge that, hey, the customer is upset, the customer could be disappointed, the customer could have maybe had bad expectations, right? So we're going to recognize that, we're going to acknowledge those feelings, but then we're going to shift that around and we're going to start moving forward with them. This is what we can do to resolve your issue, your problem, let's focus on that solution, right? And again, it's not going to be something where the customer can just flip a switch and say, oh, they're going to fix it. Okay, I'm happy now. A lot of times they need to process that, right? And maybe they won't be content until the issue is finally resolved at the end. But, you know, that's fine. We're going to keep them informed. We're going to let them know where we are in each step of the way to let them know that, hey, we're on the path to resolution. We're going to make sure that you get to where you need to be. So something to keep in mind for our team, for our employees, we have this great chart for customer service language. And if you identified communication as something that your organization can improve on, this is a great tool to start. There's some things to avoid on the left side and some alternative phrases or attitudes on the right, if you will. Of course, the first one is that's not my job. I mean, do you really want your team telling that to customers, right? Just kind of dismissing them. Oh, that's not my department. See ya. Go away. You're bothering me, right? I mean, it's always, if you look at all of these, it's not just, what they show is even if it's something out of the scope of what the employee does, they're always looking to help, right? So if it's not their job, they can direct somebody to someone that can help, right? This is who can address this. Let me call somebody for you. Here, it's this department that you're looking for. Give them a call. They're open from, noon to 4, whatever it is, right? Or if they don't have the answer, it's something that they can find out. You don't want your employees to not have an answer to something, just throw their hands up in the air and say, "Oh, sorry, I can't do it. It's beyond my scope." Again, you want them to at least direct that customer over to somebody that can help or to the right information. If it's something that's, the employee knows it can't be done because it goes against your policy or practices or whatever, find a way to communicate that to the customer in a way that is more palatable, right? They're going to be disappointed, but if you just tell them, nope, can't do it, not our policy, that could send them through the roof. If you let them know, hey, I understand your frustration. I see how this could be an issue. This is not something that we can do for policy or whatever. It helps us soften that blow a little bit. Something to avoid is telling somebody that's upset to calm down. If someone's very worked up, someone's in the, just in a good, not in a good place, you tell them to calm down. That's like throwing gasoline on fire. As someone that's been married for 15 years now, I know that calm down is probably not in my lexicon anymore. It's not something that I use. So, good alternative to that, I'm sorry. Even if it's not your fault, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're feeling that way. I'm sorry this didn't work out the way it is. I'm sorry you're going through that, right? So again, it's all in how we deliver that communication can have a very huge impact in where that relationship goes going forward, or whether that customer, you know, that relationship with that customer even exists going forward. It's all going to depend on how we address these problems. I also mentioned too, you know, part of that disconnect that we saw where leaders felt that they provided great customer service, but clients didn't agree. It's it goes down to, sometimes organizations close themselves off to complaints, or they don't acknowledge it, or they have the attitude of, well, if someone's going to put a negative complaint on, Google or Yelp or whatever, it's because they have too much time on their hands, or how about all the good feedback? Nobody ever posts that or whatever. It's kind of a way that we mentally insulate ourselves from any kind of critique. And that's sometimes, that's what all these complaints are. It's just critique. They're identifying something from an outside perspective that didn't meet their needs. And sometimes it's things that we can't address, that are, we cannot address them. They're way out of our control. They're out of our wheelhouse or what have you. So, yeah, maybe we can dismiss those, but sometimes those are valid criticisms. You know, it's valid points that we can and probably should address, right? So, again, don't feel that you have to close yourself off to complaints or criticism from our clients. How can we collect that? What's the best way? At the end of this presentation, you're going to have a survey so you can, complain about me all you want, or offer some praise if you want to, whatever it is, right? So there's different tools that we can have to have our customers give us our feedback, let us know how we're doing. Once we start getting those, we start sorting them out. Hey, is there a common issue? We receive 100, feedback from employees or from customers, I'm sorry. 90 of them said that, they didn't appreciate the wait time in the lobby. Okay, well, what's going on in the lobby? Why is there a wait time? What can we do to address that? Can we make the lobby more welcoming, maybe? That might help, right? But you identify what's the most common complaint and you look for solutions to address those. You know, if you have 90 people complain about one thing and only one person complain about something else, unless it's a major thing, don't focus on the one. Focus on the 90. Focus on the most common issue, and then work your way down from there. The thing is, we want to encourage that feedback from our customers, right? I mean, it's not just if we really want to have those return customers, those repeat relationships, we have to talk to our customers after they've been served, right? If they come in to buy something, we sell it to them. We want to talk to them after that. Make sure they had a good experience. Make sure they felt welcome. Make sure they're willing to do business with us again, right? Couple different ways to do that. Again, I mentioned those online reviews, whether it's Google or Yelp or whatever it is. That's a great way to get some feedback from employees. Social media groups, focus groups. Sometimes our model doesn't lend itself to those online or other sites. Sometimes we can bring in a group of customers and get their feedback as a group, right? And again, it's important not just to get that feedback, but also to develop responses to it if it's necessary. How are we going to address those issues that they brought up to us? And the holy grail, right? Keep them coming back. Keep them coming back. Not just, we don't want to be just a one-time service or a one-time, goods provider. We want to keep the customers we have coming back and keep expanding our customer base. And believe it or not, those kind of go hand in hand. Remember my example I gave earlier where I talked about going into a restaurant, getting bad service, and just saying, well, I just won't come back here again. They won't get my money. You might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't think that restaurant cares. They have thousands of people go through. What's one person going to do? Well, next time a friend asks me about a good restaurant in town, do you think I'm going to recommend that one? Nope. Or if someone invites me to lunch, say, hey, let's go to so and so's. Let's go get lunch there. And I'm going to say, you know what? No, nope. Last time I went there, I had terrible service. Their food was, served cold. The waiter didn't come by, whatever it is. That word of mouth, right? It kind of goes both ways. If it's a negative thing, it can spread and impact us negatively. But if it's a positive thing, if we're treating our customers or clients with respect, if we're getting to know them, developing that rapport, guess what? That word's going to spread as well. And maybe someone's going to tell them, hey, I'm looking to do my taxes. You know a good accountant? Oh, absolutely. You should go to visit, my accountant. I mean, I walk in, they know my name, they have the files all pulled up, they have a questionnaire they send me ahead of time to get everything I need. That way I can go in there and I'm in and out. They're great. Here's their card. Go see them. Right? Just kind of having our existing clients feel welcome, feel supported, feel like we appreciate them and that we want to stay in touch with them. That kind of spreads. They're going to recommend us to their friends, their families, their strangers online, whatever it is, or coworkers. That's going to help us retain our existing customers, have that repeat relationship, but also help expand to other people. Again, that comes from, getting to know our customers, building that rapport, right? So again, you know, people are going to come back to a business if they feel comfortable there. If they feel that the people are getting to know them, if they feel that people, can meet their needs, right? I mean, a lot of times there's a lot of options out there, whether it's doing the exact same thing that we're doing or fairly similar. So again, we want to have that customer feel that we're meeting their needs, but also, if it's a face-to-face interaction, have them feel welcome, right? Hey, if somebody walks in, even if you're in the retail industry, if someone walks in, you've seen them a couple times and, you know, they walk in again, you say, "Hey, how you doing again? How'd that plant work out that I sold you last week or whatever?" Whoa, that's going to click for them, right? Hey, this person remembers me. I feel welcome here. I feel comfortable. I'm going to keep coming back here. It could be very, small things like that, building that rapport, getting to know people. That's going to help us expand and keep growing our business, right? So some things you can do to do that, warm greetings, right? Hey, good morning. Acknowledge everybody. Say thank you. Little things, right? If you have repeat customers, know their names. Find something in common. If they walk in and you start chatting with them, they tell you about, hey, they got their new grandkids, a new grandson. Next time they walk in, oh, how's that grandson doing? How's T-ball season going? Something very small like that makes somebody feel welcome, makes somebody feel a deeper connection than just the transaction that you're doing. Again, makes them want to keep coming back to you. Okay. Last one for you. We're looking to exceed expectations, right? Customers walk in, a lot of times they know what they want. It's just they're walking in for one thing. But how we address that thing that they're looking for, that can, either just meet what they're needing or go above and beyond, right? So how do we wow our customers? That's, a couple things we can do. Going above and beyond, right? If they walk in, they're looking for, I don't know, a garden hose. Oh, well, that's, we got 5 different options for you. This is what you need. This is this and that, whatever. Hey, we also have these nozzles. We also have this. We also have that. You know, we have a special going on. Hey, if you buy, were you aware of this? No? Oh, well, let me show that to you, right? Give them more than they expect. Go above and beyond what they're looking for. If they have a question, they have an issue, anything comes up, make sure that we're responding to them. Respond to them quickly. Make sure that we show a sense of urgency. We're trying to address what they need. We understand that time is money and that their time is valuable. We're grateful that they're choosing to spend that time with us, and we want to make sure that we're as efficient as possible by making things easy for them too, right? We don't want them to go through 50 steps every time they come in. Convenience. Convenience goes a long way for them, right? We talked about building rapport. Get to know them. Get to know that customer. You know, Again, it could be something as simple as knowing what their business, what they do, that sort of thing. You don't have to, ask them what their sign is or what their favorite food is or whatever. Just get to know a little bit about them so that they feel that connection and they feel that they want to keep coming back to you. Be complimentary to them. Check in with them. If you provided a large service or a large good to somebody, hey, give them a follow-up call. Make sure things are running smoothly. Things are working out the way that they need it. Sometimes, taking that extra time, whether it's just to really, talk to the customer and explore their needs or take an extra minute just to follow up with them to make sure that things are going well, that can create a great impression of them and go a long way in making them those return customers that we're looking for. So with that, that brings us to the end of the presentation. I do have some training codes for you if you're with us for continuing education. For HRCI, I have number 696941. And for SHRM, I have 25-26DKG. And whatever you do, if you are looking for the SHRM credits, do not forget that dash. Otherwise, I don't know what'll happen, but maybe the code won't work. So just make sure that you include that dash. I've never left it out, so I don't know what happens. I'm afraid to. If you're interested with more, in CA membership, we do offer a couple different levels, including a monthly membership if you're interested. If you're wondering, hey, well, what's involved in membership? What do I get? Got Natalie on the line here. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about it. Some of the benefits that come with being members. I did promise that feedback. I talked about getting feedback, so I would be remiss if I didn't include this for you. Give us your feedback. What you think about the presentation? What would you like to hear about? Did you think this was a good topic? Did you take a nap during this topic? Whatever it is, let us know. Let us know what you want to hear about in the future. You can just scan that QR code, and I think Anna probably throws a link in the chat too, so you can let us know what you think. I'll leave that up there for a few minutes, and if there's any questions or anything, we're open to it now. Otherwise, we're creeping up on the hour mark for you, so I can let you all loose so you can go get ready for lunch.
Thank you, Eli.